Jungkook did not believe in warmth, not in people, not in marriage, and certainly not in love. The 20th floor of Jeon Global Holdings was encased in glass and steel, mirroring the man who ruled it. Jungkook stood with his back to the room, city lights bleeding through the windows like distant stars he had no intention of touching. Sir, the board is asking again, his assistant said carefully. Jungkook didn't turn. They always ask. About an heir. Silence. The word heir felt like a foreign language, one his parents had forced into his mouth before he learned how to want anything for himself. His marriage had been arranged for optics, not affection. Lisa had been perfect on paper, beautiful, famous, untouchable. Cold matched cold. Tell them my private life is not a business strategy, Jungkook said finally, voice even, emotionless. The assistant nodded and left. Jungkook loosened his tie, jaw tightening. He hadn't touched his wife in weeks not because he didn't desire her, but because she recoiled every time the conversation drifted toward children. Lisa didn't hide her disgust. A child would ruin her body. A child would end her runway dominance. A child would chain her. What she never said out loud but always implied was that a child would give her in-laws power over her. That night, the mansion was silent. Lisa sat in front of the vanity, removing her makeup with practiced elegance. Jungkook watched her reflection from the doorway, how carefully she wiped away beauty, how quickly the smile disappeared. They asked again today, he said. Her hand froze. I told you, Lisa replied sharply. I'm not doing this. This? His voice hardened. Or us? She stood, heels clicking as she turned to face him. Don't trap me with a baby, Jungkook. I didn't marry you to become an incubator. The word hit harder than intended. Jungkook exhaled slowly. My parents won't stop. That's not my problem, she snapped. Then softer, calculated, unless you plan to replace me. That was the fear. Not love, not loss. Property, status, power. Jungkook watched her walk away, silk robe swaying, and for the first time in years, something cracked beneath his calm. He did not know that elsewhere, in a cramped servant quarter behind the mansion, a young man named Kim Taehyung sat on a thin mattress, counting the bruises on his arms, listening to his drunken stepfather rage at ghosts. He did not know that their lives were already being stitched together by greed, by fear, by a contract that would turn into something neither of them had asked for but desperately needed. The Jeon family dining hall was designed to intimidate. A table long enough to seat 20 people stretched beneath a chandelier heavy with crystal and legacy. Jungkook sat at its head, posture straight, expression unreadable. Lisa sat to his right, elegant as ever, her smile fixed like a mask she had learned to wear on runways and red carpets. Across from them, Chairman Jeon folded his hands, eyes sharp. Beside him, Madame Jeon dabbed her lips with a napkin, gaze never leaving Lisa. So, Madame Jeon said softly, it has been 3 years. Lisa's fingers tightened around her fork. Jungkook knew what was coming. He always did. Our friends, Chairman Jeon continued, are welcoming grandchildren. The Park family has twins. The Choi family. This isn't a competition, Jungkook interrupted, voice calm but firm. His mother smiled thinly. Everything is a competition when legacy is involved. Lisa laughed lightly, the sound rehearsed. You know my schedule is insane. Paris, Milan, New York. And yet, Madame Jones said, cutting in gently, other women manage. The silence that followed was heavy, suffocating. Jungkook glanced at Lisa. Her jaw was tight, eyes glittering with something close to panic. You married into this family knowing expectations, Chairman Jones said, tone hardening. If you cannot provide an heir, I can, Lisa snapped before she could stop herself. Every head turned. She swallowed. I mean eventually, when the time is right. And when is that? Madame John asked. 35, 40, when your body decides for you. Lisa stood abruptly, chair scraping against marble. Excuse me. She walked out with her head held high, but Jungkook saw what the others missed, the tremor in her hands. He remained seated. If Lisa is unwilling, Chairman Jeon said quietly, there are alternatives. Jungkook's eyes lifted, sharp now. Be careful. Second marriages are not uncommon in our circles, his father replied. Contracts exist for a reason. The word contract lingered in the air like poison. Lisa locked herself inside the master bedroom, pacing. Her phone vibrated. Yura, best friend, did they pressure you again? Lisa typed furiously. They won't stop. They're talking about second marriages. Seconds passed before the reply came. Then, beat them at their own game. Lisa froze. What do you mean? The typing bubble appeared, disappeared, appeared again. Yura, if they want an ear so badly, give them one without destroying your body or career. Lisa's heart began to race. How? Yura, a contract marriage. Temporary. Jungkook marries someone else for a child. Once the baby is born, divorce. You stay legally and financially secure. Lisa stared at the screen. It was insane. It was immoral. It was brilliant. Her breath came shallow as possibilities unfolded in her mind, not love, not betrayal, but survival. Jungkook would never agree. Yura. Men like him always agree when cornered emotionally. Make him believe it's the only way to protect you. Lisa slowly sat on the edge of the bed. Protect me. Yes, that would work. Behind the mansion, near the servants' quarters, Taeyang washed grease from his hands at an outdoor tap. The cold water bit into his skin, grounding him after a long day of driving and repairs. A bottle shattered inside the small house behind him. Useless brat, his stepfather slurred, just like your mother. Taeyang closed his eyes. He had learned long ago not to respond. Pain was temporary. Silence kept him alive. He dried his hands on his worn jeans and sat on the steps, staring up at the mansion lights glowing warmly above him, another world he would never belong to. Or so he thought, because upstairs, in silk sheets and fear, Lisa was already thinking of him. The driver's son, poor, obedient, desperate, perfect. Fear did not arrive loudly. It settled into Lisa's chest like a slow, tightening hand, quiet, patient, suffocating. She stood before the mirror, barefaced now, studying the woman staring back at her. The world saw a supermodel. Brands saw perfection. Cameras loved her. But the Jeon family? They saw a womb that refused to cooperate. Her phone buzzed again. Yura, you need to decide fast. Once parents start suggesting alternatives, you lose control. Lisa sank onto the velvet chair. Her reflection looked smaller like this, less powerful. What if Jungkook leaves me? She whispered to the empty room. Not because she loved him, but because everything she had, status, protection, wealth, was tied to the name Jeon. She remembered the prenup. She had read it once, trembling with excitement back then. Now the clauses replayed in her mind like a threat. Divorce without an heir equals reduced settlement. Divorce initiated by wife equals loss of shares. Her nails dug into her palm. She couldn't let that happen. Downstairs, Jungkook sat alone in his study, lights dim, glass of untouched whiskey on the desk. He stared at the family photo on the wall, his parents, himself, Lisa. Perfect smiles, perfect distance. He wasn't cruel, he wasn't heartless. He was just tired, tired of being pulled apart by expectations, tired of being a disappointment in silence. When Lisa finally entered the room, Jungkook looked up, instantly alert. Her eyes were red not from tears but from restraint. "They'll replace me," she said quietly. Jungkook frowned. "No one is replacing anyone." "You don't understand," she whispered, stepping closer. "They already suggested it. Another woman, a child." Her voice cracked perfectly at the right place. Jungkook stood. "I won't allow it." Lisa's heart leapt. But he continued, "They won't stop pressuring us." She reached for his sleeve, fingers trembling. "Then protect me." The word hung between them. "You're my husband," she said softly. "If they force you into another marriage, it should be on our terms." Jungkook's jaw tightened. "What are you saying?" Lisa took a breath, as if this cost her everything. "A contract marriage," she said. "Temporary, for a child. No emotions. Once it's done, everything goes back to normal." The room felt suddenly colder. Jungkook stared at her. "You want me to marry someone else?" "For us," she said quickly. "So we don't lose anything. So they stop pressuring. So I don't lose you." "Lose you." The lie slid smoothly off her tongue. Jungkook turned away, hands pressed against the desk. His reflection in the glass looked unfamiliar, cornered. That was how she sold it. As distance, as duty, as sacrifice. Jungkook closed his eyes. He didn't see the trap yet. The next morning, Lisa stood near the servants' quarters, sunglasses hiding her eyes. She watched Taeyang help his stepfather into the house, steadying him, despite the insults slurred in his direction. "Ungrateful trash," the man muttered. "Just like your dead mother." Taeyang said nothing. Lisa felt a flicker of something, not guilt, but assessment. He was tall, strong, quiet. His eyes were too gentle for someone who had lived like this. Perfect. She stepped forward. "Kim Tae-hyung." He flinched slightly, bowing immediately. "Yes, ma'am." "I need to speak with you," she said calmly, privately. He hesitated, glancing at the door behind him. "It's about money," she added. That did it. Taeyang followed her to the side garden, heart pounding. Lisa removed her sunglasses. "I'm going to offer you something," she said. "Enough to change your life." His hands clenched. "I I don't understand." "You will," she replied smoothly. "But first, tell me." She met his eyes. "How far would you go to escape this place?" Taehyung swallowed. "Very far." Taehyung had learned early that silence kept him alive. So when Lisa asked her question, he didn't answer immediately. He stood still, shoulders tense, eyes lowered, not out of submission, but instinct. Years of drunken rage had trained his body to prepare for impact, even when no blow came. Lisa noticed. Good, she thought. He knows fear. Fear makes people obedient. "I'm listening," she said gently, as if she were doing him a kindness. Taeyang finally spoke. "I don't have many choices, ma'am." She smiled. "That's honesty. I like that." They sat on a stone bench in the garden, far enough from the house that no one could overhear. The sun filtered through manicured trees, beauty built on money and control. Lisa crossed her legs. "Do you know what a contract marriage is?" Taeyang frowned slightly. "Uh, business, marriage,